Hello, this is Statistical and Geospatial Insights. We are meeting today in lesson number 5, which is about the purpose of data analysis. The question is, why analyzing data? Data analysis is important because it transforms raw data into meaningful information, which means data which is not analyzed does not give enough information about the data itself. For this hypothetical example that we have here, there is gender, male and female, and weight. By looking at this table alone, you will not be able to get enough information, but after analyzing the data here, you'll be able to have enough information about this table. So there are many ways by which the data in this table can be analyzed. You can either use uh, independent sample t-test or box plot or many other ways. I've just opted to use a box plot. Let us come and look at the box plot and have a very brief explanation about it. A box plot or a box and whisker plot is a diagram that summarizes data sets distribution using its quartiles, median, and outliers. Getting back to our data here, uh, the box in the middle you have the median, and the median divides your data into two, and the median is known as Q uh, is known as Q2 here. Now, when you look at this data, the data is organized from X1 out up to X7. The middle observation is the median, known as Q2. On the right of X4, you have other three observations. The middle of these three observations is the lower quartile, denoted Q1, and on the left of X4, you have other three observations, X5, X6, and X7. The middle of these three observations is known as the upper quartile, Q3. Now, in this diagram, the lower part of the box is the Q1, which is the first quartile, and this one here you have the upper quartile, and the range between the Q1 and Q3 is called the interquartile. Again here, by comparing the median of the weight of the female and male, it is very clear that the females are heavier than the male. You look at the median here, the dark line. However, again, we're going to look at the ranges. For the male, you look at the ranges, the whiskers. The maximum weight for the male is around here, which is about 64 kilogram, and the minimum is about 41. Whereas for the female, the maximum weight is 89 here, and the minimum weight is 56. So this diagram is very important. It provides a quick high-level summary of data sets distributions. It allows for comparison of multiple groups. And also, this is a powerful tool for understanding shape of the data. It makes variability visible and complex information can be accessed by the audience. The second thing here is that analyzed data can help business to understand the behavior of their customers. Therefore, they'll be able to optimize operation. They can predict future outcomes. Uh, the table here contains hypothetical data. It's just a simple questionnaire. The first one was, did you buy the product? The answer is either yes or no. And the other question is, did you see the advert? The answer is yes, I saw, or no, I did not see. And then you have the income. So we want to analyze this data in order to get enough information about the data. Analyzing information which is having two categories, yes or no. This one is done using what is called the logistic regression, which is a statistical method used to predict the probability of a dichotomous two categories outcome based on one or more independent variables, such as uh, uh, yes, no, pass, fail, something like that. At the moment, don't focus very much on how the table is generated, but you look at the results here. So in the table, you have the first row is did not buy. This is the group which did not buy. There were 9. In reality, out of this 9, one of them bought the product and 8 did not buy. So when you divide 8 by 9 times 100, you'll get 88.9, which is the specificity here. And the second row is about those who really did buy the product. There were 11. Out of this 11, 9 did buy the product and 2 did not really buy it. So you have 9 divided by 11, you'll get 81.8, which is called the sensitivity here in this case. So this result is really very important. It will help in understanding the behavior of the customer by predicting the outcome. Another example is that analyzed data can be used for informed decision making based on evidence. For example, here I'm going to look at the pH level of drinking water. The acceptable pH level of drinking water in bottles produced by drinking water factories is 7 because it is it is just the pH of the natural fresh water. And usually legislation want to make sure that the drinking water has pH which is actually acceptable. And to do this, the quality control usually carry a random picking of bottles from the water produced, put in packs, and then they look at the pH, they get the average or the mean, and then they compare with the acceptable level. In this example, to confirm the pH level, quality control pick one bottle from each of the 20 water bottle pack. There are 20 water bottle packs, only one of them from each pack, one bottle is picked, and the pH level on the bottle is written. Now all the 20 water bottle pick and the pH recorded down like that. Now to analyze this data, you have to formulate hypothesis. The null hypothesis is that the population mean, that is the pH, that is the population mean pH is 7, which means that the alternative hypothesis is that the population mean pH is not equal to 7. So it means what? The pH, the imposed pH should be equal to the mean pH from the sample water bottles. And then we fix our alpha level, which is 0.05. This analysis is known as the one sample t-test, which is very important because here we are using two-tail, which means that the hypothesis is a non-directional hypothesis. We are not using terms such as bigger than or smaller than. So this is a two-tail hypothesis. In either case, the pH, the P level is supposed to be divided by 2. We're going to look at this one later. So our P level here will be 0.025. So now when you look at the resulted significance level is 0.00, which is less than 0.002. In this case, we're going to reject the hypothesis, the null hypothesis, and we accept the null hypothesis that the pH, the imposed pH actually does not meet the legislation requirement because it is not 7. So this alternative hypothesis will be accepted, and in this case, the legislation will have to do something on the company, for example, by imposing sanctions or fines so that they produce drinking water which is actually meeting the description for drinking water. Another example here is which is known as the trend analysis, and it helps business to assess their current standing. They can predict the future outcomes and identify the potential risk. So here, when you look at this, usually this one does not, it needs only the present data, the past and the present. Then it will predict on what will happen in future. In this hypothetical example here, the data, the sale data from 1990 to 2025 is present, and then they predict what will happen after 2025, that is up to 2030 to 2040. So from 2025, the sale will go down, and this is already a risk here that the company should do something in order to address this problem. Uh, Analyzing data also it helps researchers to test hypotheses. They can identify patterns and draw meaningful conclusions. For example, a researcher wanted to compare the effects of two fertilizers, A and B, on the plant growth. In this case, the fertilizer will have to look at one parameter, like, for example, the height of the plant. So he selected, the researcher obtained two groups of the same plants and added fertilizer A to the first group and fertilizer B to the second group. All the other factors remain the same for the two groups. Now you can see here, this is uh, the plant height as a result of fertilizer A, and here the plant's height as a result of fertilizer B. Now, in the null hypothesis, there is no significant difference in plant growth between fertilizer A and B. It means that it doesn't matter whether you use fertilizer A or B, the outcome of growth will be the same. However, the alternative hypothesis is saying that there is a significant difference in plant growth between fertilizer A and B. It means that the fertilizers they have effects on the growth of the plant. So in this case, uh, the outcome of the experiment will be analyzed, and after using the, the right statistical test like the independent sample t-test. First of all, when you look at the table above here, you look at the means. So these are the plant height means as a result of fertilizer A, and here the plant height mean here as a result of fertilizer B. So the mean for fertilizer B is 132.0667. It is greater than the mean for the fertilizer A. Now you come and look at this table, the independent sample t-test table here. There's something called Levin's test, and this Levin test is supposed not to be significant. But when it is significant, then you can come and look at the last column here, which is called equal variance not assumed. You come and look at the significance for the two-tail here, which is 0.00, which is actually less than 0.0025. In this case, we actually we reject the null hypothesis that there is no, you can come and look that there is no significant difference in plant growth between fertilizer A and B. We accept the alternative hypothesis that there is difference. And then this difference in growth is caused by what? Is caused by fertilizer B. I think such information are really very important to help the researcher to take some decision as to what fertilizer should be used. Thank you to attend this lecture. See you in the next session.